Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Higgins. I'm a dietetic intern here at Vanderbilt, and today we have the pleasure of being joined by registered dietitian Sarah Ferguson. And this is a great opportunity to speak with her because, as we know, a lot of people are looking to get healthy in the new year and looking to improve their nutrition. So today we're going to pick Sarah's brain a little bit about what a dietitian can do for you and a lot of the places that you can see them and find benefit in reaching your health and wellness goals. So hi Sarah, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what you do at Vanderbilt.
Sure, so I work at the Center for Human Nutrition here at Vanderbilt, and I actually work in the Celiac Clinic.
Oh wow.
So we work with patients who have celiac disease or who are in the process of going through the diagnosis. So we help them go through their testing and then learn how to live healthily on a gluten-free diet. But then I also spend part of my week working with patients with inflammatory bowel disease at Vanderbilt's IBD Clinic.
Wow, that's really fascinating. That seems like pretty challenging work though. So can you tell a little bit about what you do? What's a day in the life of a dietitian?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So something that I really love about the field is that it is always different. You, of course, are going to be working with patients. That's going to be the focus. They could be clients that you're working with if you're in a health and wellness field. They could be patients in a hospital if you're working inpatient. But for me, I spend part of the day either messaging with patients, talking with patients on the phone, or seeing them in person, trying to work with them, saying, what are your issues? How can we work through those to get you healthier? And then working some with material development. Dietitians really, I mean, you could be in a supermarket. It's a wide range.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. And of course it all revolves around nutrition.
Yes.
So that's great. So what are some of the education requirements that are required to become a registered dietitian? What have you gone through to get here?
That's an awesome question because of course, nutrition is a science and is in and of itself. That's the focus of it. And the great thing with working with a registered dietitian is that they have a really strong science background.
Okay.
So the undergraduate coursework is going to be focused in biology and microbiology and chemistry and biochem. And so we're pairing anatomy and physiology and all these sciences with a really strong inherent knowledge of what foods make us healthy. How do we cook foods? What tastes good in a recipe? So it's great to be able to work with a dietitian because they can combine a really strong knowledge. Let's say you have a disease. Well, a dietitian typically is going to be able to say, I understand what is actually happening in your body, but let me pair it with foods or nutrients that I know you need to help you get healthier. And so typically, well, of course, you also have to have an undergrad degree, and it's going to be focused in those sciences. And then everyone does an internship. So it's a really strenuous acceptance, but after you're accepted to a program, you spend a year training. So just like what you're doing, typically at a medical center where you work in the community, you work with patients in the hospital, and then you sit for your exam. So it's a board test.
Okay, wow. So that seems like a lot of education, and that's really exciting that you finished it and you're doing it and you're so happy with your job. That's all really good to hear.
Absolutely.
And I think it's awesome to combine science with food because some people might have a diagnosis, they're not really sure what that means for what they're eating.
Absolutely.
So that's where a dietitian comes in handy.
Definitely.
So are there any other benefits of seeing a dietitian that you want to touch on? How seeing a dietitian could be different from seeing someone else who talks about nutrition?
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, one of the things that I think is really great in kind of balancing, the sciences with the knowledge of food is that dietitians are really they want to be there to help others. It doesn't always tend to be the most glamorous thing, but no one goes into the field without loving one part of that, loving food, loving working with people. And so the great thing about that is they're able to combine all their professional expertise with your goals. And so health and wellness coaching is a huge factor that in internships and in undergraduate training, most dietitians are really learning, how do we make this about you? So that we're moving away from kind of this, I would say, dietitian of old in terms of I know everything and you have to do what I say, I'm the food police, to being in this new world where we're really exploring what are your priorities, what can I do to help you, and let me bring in the science behind that. And so I think that that's a really big factor when we're looking at other professionals you can go to talk about foods, they may not have that extra layer that kind of goes behind it. So anyone could tell you to eat healthy, but you have to have that deep understanding of what's happening in your body to go along with it. And the other great thing is, as a licensed professional, you're able to interface with, they could coordinate with your doctor or with your nurse practitioner. If you're seeing a physician's assistant, you really have that professional to professional interaction so that you get a coordinated care team, which is really nice.
No, that sounds really wonderful. And I can see how maybe telling someone just something to eat that might help them won't really be as effective as seeing someone who can counsel you through it and how that works in your daily life. So you have mentioned a little bit about how you help clients reach their health and wellness goals. Do you want to elaborate to the audience a little bit about what they can expect if they come to see a dietitian?
Yeah. So the first thing, and I would say the biggest thing, is going to be that initial visit. And so the dietitian might ask you a lot of questions, but they want to know more about you. They want to know what's happened. They want to know what's going on in your current life. What does your food look like? What is just your big picture experience look like? And then really focusing in on that. And so the nice thing about working with a dietitian is you have that initial visit, but then you always have that follow-up experience. So that way you're not just setting or saying that you need to do one thing, but you get, okay, how did it go? Is this not going well? Should we try something else? And so I think that really that continuing that care is something that makes those visits and really the bigger picture flow really nicely.
I really love how you say that food is an experience, because food is such a big part of our lives, and it can affect us in so many different ways, whether it be through illness or through health, and through celebrations, and
with
sadness
friends,
and everything. Food is such a big part of our lives, and I think that's why dietitians can be a really great person to have on your side going through changes with your nutrition. So, well, speaking of that, do you have any success stories that you want to share with your clients?
I have one lady in particular who, in my position at the Celiac Center, had come in and had really just been going through months of difficulty. Typically in celiac disease, that was presenting in a lot of GI symptoms that were almost close to debilitating. Wasn't able to really be at work anymore, was just really limited by what was happening in her intestines, really. And so once she came to clinic, we were able to make a successful diagnosis of celiac disease. I helped her with a gluten-free diet, and within 2 weeks, she went back to work, called, and I mean, you could almost just hear tears in her voice because her quality of life improved so quickly. And I think that it was just, for me, it was really rewarding of being able to see what a great confirmation that, I'm in the field because I want to help people, and what a good confirmation is that I really can help people through food. And I'm sure dietitians from all sorts of areas, whether that's they're working with a client and they help them to lose weight so that they could, run a half marathon or whatever that goal is. I think it's so rewarding when you help your patient achieve it. It's just a really, just feels good. Feels good all around.
That's such a great story. Wow, what an impact. That's awesome. So is there anything else that you want to let us know about dietitians and what you do and any benefits?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I think first is kind of, where do you find them? How do you find a dietitian is always a good thing to go over. And so generally they're going to be at academic medical centers or just medical centers in general. They can be at clinics, in grocery markets. You could go to a grocery store and see a dietitian.
I've seen them at the gym.
Okay, yes, totally, so at the gym.
They're available at the gym.
Yep. And so one way to search locally is to, eatright.org. They have a website that you can find an RD locally. But then also, I think too, just interacting, like My Southern Health is going to be able to provide people with locations on where those dietitians are. But you can, really the great thing is you can find them in so many areas of your community that it fits, you can let it fit what you're looking for. So let's say, you love going to the grocery store, why not bring a dietitian into that experience so that way you're doing something you enjoy but you're getting help. Whether it's a new recipe, or if you're at the gym and you want some guidance, that's another great place.
That's great. And maybe the one who works at a gym specializes in sports nutrition, and the one who works at a grocery store can give you a tour of the grocery store and show you how to read labels. I think all of those are valuable resources for helping your nutrition just improve as you live life. So I do want to add that we have the Human Nutrition Clinic here at Vanderbilt, and they do have registered dietitians. So if that's something that interests you and you would like to meet up with one and discuss your health and wellness goals, you can always reach out to them. They're in the Medical Arts Building. And of course, you would have to check with your insurance company to see if that's covered, but most likely they do cover visits with registered dietitians. So I think that would be a great opportunity. Anyone who's looking, just do some research and see who you can connect with. And if not at Vanderbilt, then in the community, like Sarah was saying. So I wanted to say thank you for joining us. I think that we're going to have a really great audience participation in the comments with this, and it was really fun talking to you. That success story is amazing.
It's fun.
So
but it's fun to talk about, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy because I love it, and it's good to be here. Thanks so much.
That's amazing. Thank you.